So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the sixth session of your financial management. And in the last class, as we have covered up this particular flow diagram of calculation of your time value of money and the future value calculation, we have already completed. Now, the next topic we have that is called the present value calculation. Okay. So, in present value calculation, we have present value of single amount and present value of annuity that we need to cover up now. Okay. So, the next topic, and these two topics are remaining now, and then we'll move to the next topic of the session, that is valuation of bonds and debentures. Okay, so that we will cover up in this particular session. Fine. Now, the topic which is called the present value calculation of a particular single amount. Okay, now when we discuss about the present value calculation, you always remember when we discuss about the cash inflow or the earning of a company, or when we talk about the cash outflow of the company always need to take a decision making whether this particular project or the assignment which they are looking after, whether it would be profitable, or you could say whenever, like for example, if you are planning to you could say manage your cash inflow for the next 5 years. For example, the company is planning that for the next 5 years, this much amount of profit definitely we can earn very easily. Okay. Now, these are the future prospect I'm talking right now. The company always need to decide the value of all those profit or all those inflow which they may generate on the future date. Will it be sufficient to negate the inflation part? That is the very first thing which we need to keep in mind. So the present value of single amount. For example, you could say your salary. For example, 50,000 per month you are earning from a particular company. Okay, and that 50,000 would be definitely throughout 1 year. It would be similar, but always remember the 50,000 earned in January month won't be same as what 50,000 would be on you in the case of month of December. It is because of the present value factor. It is because of your discounting factor, or we can say that inflation in the country. Okay, so in such a cases, whenever we need to calculate the present value of any you could say amount, any calculation, in all such cases you need to keep in mind these calculations we need to you could say put forward in order to understand the actual value of all your future payments. Okay. Now we'll go for the very first and very basic calculation, how to go for present value factors. Okay, so let's move to this very basic questions right now. What would be the calculation of this? Okay, just a minute please. This question is, suppose someone gives you rupees 1,000 6 years hence, what is the present value of amount if the interest rate is 10%? Okay, like the 1,000 you have basically received 6 years. Okay, and that you need to calculate about the 10% if the inflation factor or the present value factor is there. So what would be the amount of 1,000 if the inflation is 10%? In this case, anyone who can tell me how exactly we need to solve? Yes, any one of you? Yes, students, I think we have already covered up this type of question in the last class. Any one of you who can tell me about how to solve these questions? Sorry. Yes, students, anyone? No? Because we discussed, I think, future value calculation. Now, first of all, please try to understand how to calculate the present value factor for different year. Okay. Now, first of all, we need to understand the formula of present value factor, that is called PVF factor. Okay, or it is also called discounting factor or inflation factor. The formula is 1 divided by 1 plus I whole to the power. in this way, we can calculate the present value factor for different year. Okay, for example,
We can't hear you, sir.
you can't hear me. Is it the case with everyone, please? I think, am I clearly audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I think who is the one who is facing the problem? Please, students, try it at your end. Is there any technical issue? I think Mr. Uday Kumar is there, I think. Mr. Uday Kumar, now audible, please. Mr. Uday Kumar, am I clearly audible now? I think we should start, okay? See, student, first of all, what exactly we have to do whenever we need to calculate the present value factor, okay? First of all, what exactly we will do, we have to calculate that the value of this 1000 after 6 years period of time, okay? So if I need to calculate for 6th year, okay? So first of all, how to calculate that? For example, if it is 10%, okay? So if the interest rate is 10%, how we can calculate this particular amount, okay? So first of all, the PVF would be PVF is equals to 1 divided by 1 plus I, that is 10%, means 0.10 whole to the power. Now, for the first year, if we need to calculate, the power would be 1. Definitely. So 1 divided by 1.1. What is the answer, please? 1 divided by 1.1. Everyone, please. That is 0.909.
0.909. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in this way, what exactly we have to do, we need to calculate for different year as well. Okay. So we need to calculate up to 6th years first of all. Okay. So for example, for first year, it would be 0.909. For second year, it would be how to calculate on the same calculator. If you will put one more equal, like 1 divided by 1.1, it is 0.909. Put one more equal, that is 0.826. You can see that, please. 0.826. Everyone? Then you will go for third year, that is 0. You will press one more calculate, that is 0.751. We need to round off for 3 digits, please. Okay. Then for fourth year, it would be again one more equal, it is 0.683. For fifth year, it would be one more equal, 0.621. And for the sixth year, it would be one more equal, 0.564. Everyone understood, please, how to calculate these values?
Sir, please tell me one time again.
Yeah, sure.
No,
So what
sir.
exactly we have to do? We have to calculate the present value factor. And the formula for calculating present value factor is 1 divided by 1 plus R whole to the power n. Okay. So like for example, if the question is 10% calculation we have to do, we need to calculate the value after 10 months, after 6 years, okay, at 10% rate of interest. Okay. So first of all, what we will do, we will actually calculate the present value factor for different year. Okay, that is called discounting factors as well. Okay, so 1 divided by 1 plus 0.1 whole to the power 1, it is for first year. Second year, again you put one more equal on your calculator. You will get 0.826. One more equal, 0.751. One more equal, 0.683. So in the same fashion, you can calculate the present value factor of 10% in this particular manner. Is it clear, please, now how to calculate that?
Sir,
Yes,
if
yes,
we use a formula, in that case, we can also calculate this 16% interest on 1,000 rupees.
How much interest, ma'am?
I'm saying that you were giving this problem by solving this problem by using this formula. If I solve this problem without any using any kinds of formulas, 10% interest on 1,000, no?
10%
10%.
interest, ma'am. No, ma'am, not interest. 10% discounting, ma'am. It is present value factor. It is called basically inflation factor. Means this 1,000 rupees will become how much after 6 years if the inflation is 10%.
Okay, it's a discount value is 10%. Then
Yes,
how
yes,
much
yes.
it will be?
It would
Okay,
be
in
Hmm.
that case, this will be minus from
Yes, yes,
1,000.
definitely,
Okay,
ma'am. Because,
okay.
ma'am, whatever we are discussing right now, actually, this is
Hmm.
like, for example, you have 1 lakh rupees in your hand right now. Okay. And
Yes.
the inflation is 10%. So, what is the value of that 1 lakh rupees after 5 years? In this way, if you need to calculate, you can use this formula. Because definitely that 1 lakh would be lesser than 1 lakh rupees as of now you have.
Hmm. So, I would like to say something that if you send some formulas and all these things regarding this financial, so
Hmm.
can you send this via mail to our
No,
email
actually,
ID,
uh,
WhatsApp number?
no, ma'am. Actually, what happens usually when we talk about the practical subjects, on daily basis, if I'm talking about any topic, because this is completely a numerical based topic, so just attend the classes and whatever formula which I'm telling, because it is immediately which I can explain you. Because once if I start writing the formula, definitely I might forget some formulas in between.
Okay, okay. This type of
Understood?
formulas is it available in Google's and all kinds of financial books?
Might be possible actually. Yeah, definitely it
Okay.
would be. In Google, you
Actually,
will find that. Hmm.
as you know that there is a lots of short of time. That's why I'm asking like this question. Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes. Okay, always welcome, please. I think Mr. Uday Kumar, please tell me. You have some queries, sir? Okay, let's proceed, please. Now, what I have to calculate, if I have to calculate the present value factor of this 1,000 rupees after 6 years, so the formula would be amount, because we need to calculate amount right now in this particular case. So, present value is equals to amount, that is rupees 1,000 into 1 plus I whole to power 6. Make sure. So 1 plus 0.10 whole to the power 6, because we need to calculate after 6 years the value of this 1,000 would be. So what is the amount, please? Because we already calculated that 1,000 into 1.1 whole to the power 6, it would be 0.564. 0.564. So present value would be 564 rupees. Means this 1,000 will become only 564 rupees after 6 years of time. Is it clear, please? Is this part clear, please, everyone? I hope so, everyone. Is it clear? It's very simple numerical, actually. Yeah, thank you so much. Mr. Uday Kumar, I can't hear any more. Okay, sir. Actually, you might have some issues with might be your laptop or your any electronic device you're using right now. I'll request to kindly refresh it or restart it so that it would be far better, sir. Okay. Yeah. Now, one more numerical, please. It's very simple again. Find the present value of 1,000 receivable 20 years hence if the discount rate is 8%. Please, can you calculate fast? For 20 years, maybe it is. Okay. So, formula would be PV is equals to 1,000 into 1 plus 0.08. Okay. Because it is 8% only. Whole to the power 20. Please give me the answer fast. Because that should be 1,000 into 0.214.
Sir,
Please tell
sir,
me.
your screen is black, sir.
My screen is not visible.
No, sir.
Mr. Vinod, is my screen visible?
No, sir. Till now, not received, sir.
No, actually, I'm solving this question. Students, please kindly confirm. Is it visible now?
No, sir. Till now not received.
Not visible. Okay. Wait a minute, please. I think there might be some technical issues.
Okay, sir. Got it, sir. Got it. Received, sir.
Perfect.
Received.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Now visible.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, this is a question again. Is 1,000 rupees which you have today, if you will actually receive after 20 years, if the discounting rate is 8%, what will be the value of this 1,000 rupees after 20 years period of time? So just calculate, please. That is 1 divided by 1 divided by 0.08 whole to the power 20 means 20 times you need to put a equal sign. Or if you have scientific calculator, you can easily solve this.
So 4660.9.
Yes, sir. 4660.95.
How is it possible? 1,000 rupees after 20 years. It should be less than that. Hanji.
Sir, same answer.
No. Actually, if you go for 1 divided by 1.08 whole to the power 20. Okay, means 20 times you need to calculate actually. 1 divided by 1.08. It is 0.925 plus 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So our answer. It is 0.214.
Sir, your screen on.
दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है
My screen is not visible.
Not
So your
visible,
screen
sir.
is not visible. Not visible now.
Just a minute, please. I think there are some technical issues then. Just wait a minute, please. Yes, now it's fine, I think.
No, sir.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Just received, sir.
Not
Yes.
visible.
Sure. This 1 divided by 1 divided by 0.18. Okay. Sorry, 1 divided by, not the 1 actually. 1 divided by 1.08 whole to the power 20. Haji. So it should be 0.214. Is it clear, please? Everyone?
Yes, sir. It came to one.
Yeah, 0.21. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir. To one.
question, I think so. Single present value calculation for single amount. Okay. Whenever you need to calculate whatever amount you have right now, what should be its value after 5 years, 10 years, you can simply apply this formula. Okay. Now we'll move to the next and the last variety of this time value of money, that is present value of an NBT. Okay. Now, for example, if you are receiving 10,000 rupees every year, okay, and you will receive for, let's suppose for next for 10% rate of interest, and you will receive for next 4 years, for example. Okay. So in this case, how to calculate this particular question? So the formula for calculation of such a part, it would be your 1 plus k, that is interest rate, whole to the power n minus 1 divided by k into 1 plus k whole to the power n. Okay, I'll just give you a very simple formula, I think so, far better in order to understand this particular portion. Okay, so firstly, what we have to do, we need to simply calculate all these particular. I'll take the question first of all. Okay. Ma'am, please kindly mute yourself. Ma'am, please kindly mute yourself. Mentor's advice, I think, I don't know. Please kindly mute yourself. I'll request you. So you can see that this is a question now. The present value of a 4-year annuity of 10,000 discounted at 10%. Okay. In this case, how to calculate this part? See, first of all, again, we have 10% calculation. Okay. That is your 10% calculation. How to do that? Like PVF for 4 years we need to calculate. I'll simply copy the value of this 4 years PVF. Okay. So you can see that we have this 4 years values. Present value at 10% for 4 years. 0.909, 0.826 for second year, then 0.751, 0.751 plus 0.683. If you will add all these items, please, PVF of first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. Okay. Whenever you need to calculate annuity part. Okay. So definitely the PVF, you could say the cumulative PVF for 4 years would be, if you add all these items, please, you will get the desired value. That is 3.169. Okay. 3.169. So definitely what exactly we have to calculate? This 10,000 rupees, if you receive for 4 years, okay, what should be the value of that 10,000 rupees after basically after your 4 years period of time? Okay, so how to calculate that? That is PVF, sorry, present value of annuity 4 years is equals to 10,000, that is about the value right now, into 3.169. So that will give you the answer 31,699. 31,699. Even you can calculate 31,700. This is the calculation of annuity part, please. How to calculate the annuity of any present value. The simple calculation, simple formula we have as well. Is this part clear, please, everyone? Yes, students, please kindly confirm. Is the present value of annuity clear, please? Please kindly confirm, students. Is it clear? Because the 10,000 rupees is basically for 4 years, and you need to calculate the value of this particular item if the 10% is the inflation rate. Anji, is it clear, everyone? Is this clear? I hope so. Am I audible, please? Is it clear, everyone? Yes, yes, perfect. Thank you so much.
Sir.
Sure. Now, one more calculation which we will do right now for the even series of cash flows. Okay. So let me just go through with this. That is present value of an even cash flow and present value of uneven cash flows. Okay. So first of all, we are going to calculate present value of series of cash flows. Present value of series of cash flows. Okay. Now there are basically two types of series which we have. That is about even series. Even series means the cash flow is similar for every year. Okay, like your salary I talked about. Okay. And when we have uneven series of cash flow. Like it could be for a company as well. The profit margin, the calculation, the profit earning would differ from year to year. Okay. So uneven series of cash flows. Okay. Now we'll discuss the first part right now when we have the even series of cash flows. Okay. Now I'll take a question right now and then we'll discuss this part. Okay. For example, I'll take question right now. For example, if you want to have 800 at the end of each of 3 years, if you want to have rupees 800 at the end of each year, for 3 years, okay? For 3 years, okay? If PVF factor is 10%, if PVF factor is PVF or not PDF, PVF factor is 10%, okay? What will be the calculation, or I could say what amount of calculation you need to go for, okay? Now, first of all, as you can see that if you want to receive 800 rupees for 3 years, what is the total amount you want? What is the total amount you want? 2400. So please, you can unmute yourself and please discuss, okay? 800 each year you want. Yeah, for 3 years you required how much?
2400.
2400. So for 3 years you required total is 2400 rupees. Okay. Now how to calculate such questions? Okay. There is basically a formula for calculation, that is present value of an annuity. Okay, when we have an even series of cash flow, that will be your amount. Now please mute now. Okay. 1 plus I, and again plus A, amount 1 plus I whole to the power 2 plus, similarly, like you can go for further calculation as well, A 1 plus I whole to the power 3, and similarly for number of years you need to calculate, you can proceed further. Okay. Now, for example, you need 800 at the end of each year. Okay. So how we can calculate the present value of the annuity if we require the desired sum? So what is the amount you need to invest right now? So you can calculate this part, please. That is PVA is equals to amount is 800, which you want to receive after each and every year. 1. Okay. This is 1 divide. Okay. This is A upon 1 plus I. This is again A upon 1 plus I whole to the power 2. A upon 1 plus I whole to the power 3. Okay. So first of all, like 800 upon 1 plus 0.1. Okay. Plus 800 upon 1 plus 0.1 whole to the power 2. Plus 800 upon 1 plus 0.1 whole to the power 3. Please calculate and give me the answer, please. What is PVA? Anyone? But basically what exactly we are calculating right now? We are calculating if we want 2400 for 3 years, means 800 each year, what should be the amount or what should be the present value of that amount, which because after 3 years you will definitely receive 2400 rupees. Okay. But what exactly the amount would be, that we need to calculate in this case. That is called the present value of an annuity when we have uneven cash I hope so you understood what is the meaning of this particular part. Anyone? The answer should be 1989.44. Asked, I cannot give much of the time for calculation, please, because we have a limited time to cover the syllabus as well. So please kindly cooperate in calculations. It should be 1989.44, means the amount of 2400 which you will receive for 800 each year, the value of that 2400 would be 1989.44 as of now. Is it clear? Is this part clear? Everyone? Students, please kindly confirm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. Now I'm going to the next variety, that is when the uneven series of cash flow we have. Okay. So whenever we have uneven series of cash flow, uneven series of cash flows. Okay. In such a case, how exactly we will actually calculate the questions. Okay. Now, usually, like when we talk about the practical problems, usually the company always face the uneven cash flows for the organization. Okay. Now, in such a case, I'll take very basic questions first of all, and then we'll discuss that question. For example, Suresh is one of the person or an investor. He makes an investment of how much we can consider, for example, in a mutual fund. Okay. So in a mutual fund, okay, which promises Suresh to have cash inflows of 5 years. Cash inflows for 5 years, and the cash inflows would be, like for example, first year we consider 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, 3,000. Like two only, 2,000, 3,000, and 3,000. This is the expected amount which he might receive from the mutual fund. If the discounting factor is 10%, what will be the present value of this particular calculations? Okay. Now, in case we have uneven cash inflows, what exactly we have to do? We simply need to calculate the present value of this particular amount. Okay. For example, the total amount, you can see that 3 plus 3 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11,000 which you will receive after 5 years. But what is the actual value right now of all such particular questions? So how to calculate right now? Please kindly focus. Okay. What exactly you have to do? Like for example, I'll calculate for 1 year, then remaining you just do it by yourself. Like present value of first year, please. Okay. Now how to calculate? Like the amount is 1,000 and present value factor for first year is 0.909. How 0.909? Because 10% is the rate of interest. It is the amount of discounting. That is for first year. Similarly, if you will calculate for second year, that would be present value for second year. It will be 2,000 into, because second year you are generating 2,000 rupees. And second year discounting factor is 0.826. Please, you can calculate now. Okay. So you will get how much? 1652 point something, 0.8. Okay. Similarly, you can calculate for all the 5 years. I'm just copying it right now over here. PVF for third year, it would be 1502.6. PV of fourth year would be 2049. And the fifth year, the last year, it will be 1862.7. Okay. So once you will calculate you will add all these values, the present value would be 7976.2. please kindly go through the calculation fast and do let me know. Is there any query in this question now? Because when the cash inflows are uneven, in that case, how to calculate? You need to simply multiply the present value factor of that particular year with the inflow you are generating in that concerned year. Hanji, is it clear, please, everyone? Is this part clear? Please kindly confirm, students. If it is clear, then I'll move to the last topic of the day, and this third unit, I think so, for our syllabus. And the topic, if you can see that, our topics as well, that is about the bond valuation and shares valuations. Okay, so now we'll start that topic. Because now again we have a lot of formulas and a lot of calculations. So please kindly cooperate because we need to go a bit fast right now. I hope so this part is clear. Please, everyone. Hanji, please kindly confirm, students. Then we'll start the next topic, valuation of bonds and shares.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. So let me share now my other document. Okay. Just give me a minute of time. Okay. Or we can do one thing. We are taking the break of only 3 minutes. We'll sharply start at 6 o'clock. Okay. So let's take a break of 3 minutes of time, and then I'll continue for at least 1 hour we have to give because this topic is lengthy now. Okay. So just 3 minutes of break for everyone, and we'll start the class at sharp 6 o'clock.
Okay, sir.
Yes, student, we can start now. Okay, let me share my screen and we'll discuss about different formulas, how we can calculate the bonds and shares. Okay. I hope so. My screen is clearly visible, please, everyone.
Yes, sir, visible. Sir.
Thank you so much. So yeah, we are done with this. Let me close this one. We are done with this as well. So just a minute, okay. I'll share this document with the institute, and I think they will share this complete file with you as well. This is an ebook and the notes with you as well. Okay, so you have the notes with you for this particular subject. Okay, so we are starting the next topic. Please kindly note down all the formulas, which is a very important part in this particular case. And the valuation of bonds and shares, the next topic in your syllabus. Now, when we talk about this valuation, first of all, what is the meaning of valuation? Valuation is nothing but basically whenever the company is basically assessing the risk and return analysis of any investments or of any portfolio. Okay, whether it may be a financial assets, whether maybe you could say a physical assets. Okay, in all such cases we need to value our investments. Okay, usually we are talking in this particular topic about the valuation of the financial instrumentation, that is the two categories, that is bonds and shares. Okay, now when we discuss about this valuation of bonds and shares, we always need to keep in mind about the various cash flow analysis. Okay, like we discussed already about present value and the future value, we are only always concerned about the you could say the cash inflow which we generate out of it. Okay, that cash inflow may be on monthly basis, annual basis, or even half yearly basis as well. Depends on the schedule of the returns. Okay, now basically whenever we actually value any securities, we have this following methods with us. Okay, that is basic valuation model. Second one is your valuation of bonds and debentures, which having three methods: basic bond valuation, yield to maturity, and semi-annual interest and bond value. The third one is valuation of preference shares and valuation of ordinary shares. We have zero growth model, constant growth model, that is called Gordon model, and the variable growth model as well. Okay, so shall we start one by one, all the methods? The first valuation calculation is your basic valuation model. Okay, we discuss it right now, I think so. That whenever we need to calculate the present value of any security in which the cash inflow are different for different year. Recently, I think we discussed example, students. Okay, that is 1000 into 0.909, 2000 into 0.826. The same formula, you can see that. First year inflow, first year's present value, second year inflow into second year inflow, and so on. Okay, so this part we have already covered up. That is called the basic valuation method. It is A1 upon present value factor, A2 upon present value factor, and so on. I hope so, students. This question we have already done. That is what is basic valuation model. It is calculation of present value factors. Is it clear, please, everyone? That recently we have covered up this particular model, basic valuation model.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can see one more question, I think, on my screen as well. That is question number 6. Okay, like you can see that there are two basically options or two assets option we have, assets X and assets Y. In assets X, you can see that there are three equal inflows. Okay, and you can see that we calculate this one as well. When we have an even cash inflow, if you remember, and when we have the uneven cash inflows. In both the cases, how to calculate all this part. Please kindly go through with it once, giving you 2 minutes of time. In case any query you have, do let me know, please. The first case is of even cash inflows and second case is of uneven cash inflows. We have discussed this question right now. Okay. If it is clear, then we can move to the next part, please. Next model. Anji, shall we start, please? Next model. Yes, Sunil, shall we start, please? Kindly confirm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Obviously.
Yeah, sure. Now you can see that the next model is basically your valuation of bonds and debentures. Okay, under this we have first method, that is basic bond valuation method. First of all, we need to understand this particular concept of valuation of bonds and debentures. First of all, the bonds and debentures are basically the debt securities. Okay, these are the debt instrumentations. Okay, in such a cases, the companies are always liable to pay interest rate on a particular periodic basis. Okay, that interest rate may be for half yearly basis. That interest rate may be you could say having on monthly basis or on yearly basis as well. Okay, in such a cases, like you can see the example right now which is mentioned in my slides, that usually whatever the bonds and debenture which was usually issued by the companies or the government or any other enterprises, the first thing that they usually pay the interest on half yearly basis. The maturity usually ranges till 10 years, and the face value of each and every bond or debenture, it's around 1,000 rupees per. Okay, that is repeated maturity. Okay, now these particular bonds I think will be issued by the company on either on the discount or on the premium. Okay, I think you remember what is discount, what is premium, what is par. What is par value? First of all, par value is the face value of your security. For example, you have purchased one security of 1,000 rupees. Okay, so 1,000 is the value, the face value or the opening value or what the real value. So that particular face value is called the par value of any security. Okay, usually the coupon is basically rate is interest rate mentioned. Okay, and the maturity period which ranging from for 1 year till at least 10 years, the debentures and bond depends on the compliances given by the government. Okay, so the first model which comes under this category, that is called the basic valuation bond calculation. Okay, so basic bond valuation technique, it is nothing but basically when the company is basically liable to pay interest rate on the principal amount issued, or even it is possible that the securities which is being issued by the company may be issued at discount or at discount, and will be on maturity it would be provided at par. Okay, the formula for this particular calculation, you can see that B is equals to I into present value of a factor that is called the for number of years, and M into this particular. You can see that M is par or maturity value. Par or maturity value which you will receive. Okay, the B is value of the bond at 0th year or 0th time. I is the interest, annual interest paid by the company. Okay, that is I. N is the number of years to maturity, the number of years for which the bonds is issued. KD is basically, you can see that required return on the bond. Okay, we'll take a very basic example first of all, and then definitely you would be able to understand. Okay, now you can see that a firm has issued 10% 10-year bond with 1,000 par value. Par value means it will be at face value. Okay, that pays interest annually. Compute the value of bond. What is the interest amount which we may receive? That is 10% of face value. That is called 100 because interest is I. That is 10% of your face value. What is face value? Is 1,000 rupees. Into present value factor for 10 years. 10 years, which is NVT, make sure. Okay, so how to calculate this 6.145? Anyone who can tell me, please? Hanji. Because for 10 years, you need to calculate by like similarly 0.909, 0.826, point something. You have to add all the items for 10 years. Okay, like for example, 1 divided by 1.1, because again 10% we have, it is 0.909 plus 0.826 plus 0.751 plus 0.683 plus 0.621 plus 0.564 and so on. For 10 years, you will calculate, you will get the value that is 6.145. Just multiply it, it is 614.5. And the 1,000 value would be discounted at the 10th year because that is the amount which you will receive after 10 years. Okay, so 1000 into 10th year PVF factor, which is 0.386. You will add it on, you will get the total amount is 1000 rupees. The bifurcation of that is the bond valuation. Because what is the interest amount you will receive is 614.5. And if the 1000 rupees as of now is not being invested, that amount will become only 386 rupees after 10 years of time. Is it clear, please, everyone? Because this calculation we have discussed already, NVT part and simple calculation of present value. Please kindly confirm.
Sir, kindly showing our this chapter formula.
So, pardon?
Just upper
Please
page.
pardon,
Sir.
I think.
Just upper page. Previous page kindly show, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, shall we move please to the next part, please, friends? Is it clear, everyone? The basic bond valuations. Hanji, please kindly confirm, students.
Sir, kindly
And I'll move to the
showing our.
Sir, actually, your voice is not clear to me, actually. Can you please type in the chat box?
Hello,
yes,
sir.
Mr. Anurag. Yes, Mr. Anurag, please.
Sir, kindly showing our basic bond valuation formula once again. Sir.
Basic bond valuation formula.
Just,
okay. Thank you so much. Because your voice was not clear. Yeah, this is the formula actually. The bond value would be I into PV IFA NVT, and M is the principal amount face value into present value of interest factors. Just a minute, please. Yeah. Clear, Anurag, I think?
Yes, sir, clear.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let's move to the next questions, next portion now. That is yield to maturity. YTM, I think, the second method after that. Is it so? Yeah, basic bond valuation, and then we have YTM.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
Okay. Now the next part is your YTM, yield to maturity. Okay. Now what is YTM? First of all, we need to understand. Okay. YTM is basically the rate of interest when a particular person is buying any debt instrumentation, okay, at a specified price and hold it until maturity. For example, you purchased a bond right now in 2020 and you are holding it for 5 years of time till 2025. Okay, so what should be the yield or the return which you may generate out of it? That is called your yield to maturity. Okay, you can see that YTM is the rate of return that investor can earn if they buy a bond at a specific price and hold it until maturity. It assumes that the issuer of the bond makes all due interest payments and repayment of principal as contracted or promised. Means definitely the person, those who are issuing this security, must have to fulfill all the obligations. Okay. Now, when we talk about this particular yield to maturity, okay, if the price is equal to the face value, okay, if the price is equal to the face value, you can see that the YTM on a bond whose price equal to its face value, that is purchase price equal to maturity value, it should be equal to the coupon rate actually. Okay, now always remember, whenever we have any bond, if we purchased, okay, and the par value and the maturity value is differ, definitely it may be giving some yield, some returns to the shareholders. Okay, let's understand with the help of one example first of all. Okay, you can see that the bond of a particular Premier Company Limited are currently selling at 10,800 rupees. Okay, First of all, the coupon rate is 10%, par value is 10,000, and maturity is 10 years. Annual interest payment we have, and we have to compute the YTM. Okay. First of all, what we'll do, as we know that because we don't know exactly, you could say what would be the interest rate which will be generated out of it. Okay. So first of all, we'll calculate on 10% and then we'll calculate on 9%. Okay. So you can see that the similar formula for the previous one, that is the amount is 10,800. You can see the formula, please. Bond value. What is the bond value? 10,800. Interest is 1,000 at the face value, 10%. Into, we don't know exactly for the number of years for which we need to hold this security, yield to maturity. Okay. 10 is again basically the 10%. Sorry, that is given to you 10. Okay. Now you can see that if the KD, you can see that formula of KD as well we discussed actually. This is the KD, required return on the bond. Okay. So if we are considering that KD means you can see this point. If the purchase price equal to maturity value means the 10% which we are having right now, there is no change in terms of its yield. Okay, you can see that. If the KD is equal to 10%, this is equal to the coupon rate. Coupon rate means the rate on which it is issued. The value of the bond would be 10,000. Since the value of the bond is 10,800, KD must be less than 10%. Now, why this? You have to understand this particular fast, first of all. Yes, this is the calculation actually. The impact of required return on bond value. You can see that when the required return is equal to coupon rate, then the bond value equal to the par value. Means whatever the par value or face value you have, you will actually receive at the end of the maturity. But if the required return is more than CR, that is called the coupon rate, okay, then the bond would sell at discount. And if the required rate is less than the your coupon rate, in such a cases, it would be on premium. It would be on premium. Okay. So like you can see, first of all, in this calculation, because this concept will use over here. Now, first of all, you can see that if the KD is, we are assuming 10%, and definitely if in order to generate more and more returns on it, definitely it should be less than the required rate of return. The required rate of return is less than 10%. So how to go for? We can go for 9% calculation as well. Okay. So on 9%, if you will calculate, the answer will come is 10,638 rupees. If you go for 8% calculation, because it's a hit and trial method, always remember please, hit and trial method. On 8%, it would be 11,340. Okay, now you can see that if your bond value is more than your, your bond value is basically more than its particular current prices, then definitely you can see that your answer should be between 8 to 9%. Okay, it should be 8 to 9%. And this calculation can be done with the help of interpolation method. Okay, now what is interpolation method? First of all, that I'll explain you in capital budgeting part. Okay, right now I'm going to detail in that particular part, but how to calculate this particular portion, whenever we need to calculate all such calculation, if the required rate of return is basically less than your what is the current return or current market price we have, then the answer should be between 8 to 9. And how to calculate is 8.77%. We have a long method actually for that I'll describe you in the next topic after this particular one. Then from tomorrow itself, definitely we'll discuss that. That is your capital budgeting methods. Okay. So this is the next second, you could say method, that is yield to maturity. I will share this document with you, so no worries at all. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Fine. Thank you so much. Let's move to the next method, please. Semi-annual interest and bond value. I think the next method we have semi-annual interest and bond value. Yes. So now you can see that in this method, simply what we have to do, the interest payment which we are generating is semi-annual, not annual. So your interest will divide by 2, first of all. Along with that, your number of years will be multiplied by 2. and your return is rate of interest will divide by 2. Okay, so in this case, how to calculate this question? You can see that the procedure to value bond paying interest semi-annually, it is similar to that of the compounding interest more frequently than annually. However, here we find out the present value. How to do that? Convert annual interest into semi-annual. How to do that? Just simply divide your interest calculation by 2. It would convert as a semi-annual. Convert the number of years to maturity by double, because that is 6-month calculation. So multiply it by 2. For example, if it is for 10 years, it would become 20 years. Okay. Convert the required return also by 2. Okay, so that is a simple calculation we have. Similar question we have, illustration number 4, like for example, if it is so, simply you need to divide this particular valuation by 2, multiply the year by 2. That is the only difference in this calculation, please. Similar to the illustration number 4, I think we have covered up in the class today. Illustration number 4. No, not this one, I think. I hope so, student. I think this is a different questions we have, I think. But the important thing, when we go for the bond calculation, simply you need to divide the interest rate by 2 and you need to multiply the years by 2. That's all. That is the only change in this question, please. Only change in this half yearly calculation. Is it clear, please, everyone? The only change in the formula, you can see that. Rest, everything is similar. You can see this particular answer, please. If you have any query, do let me know. Yes, students, please kindly confirm. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Let's move to the last method, that is valuation of preference shares. Okay. Now, valuation of preference shares is basically very simple formula we have. Okay. That is simply whatever dividend you are generating, it make sure this calculates similar to bonds. Okay. Like dividend into that calculation, for example, this is the calculation. So valuation of bond would be similar, like maturity amount and what is dividend you are generating. Rest formula is similar. Dividend of preference shares, PVIFA, KP. By KP, it is because of preference share. This KD means debts into number of years. Formula is similar. Only difference is that in place of interest, we have dividends. That's all. Anji, student, please kindly confirm. Is it clear, everyone? Anji.
So here KP is written as MV, sir. The DP formula is written, and sir, here is MV.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, the only thing the formula is in place of interest we have dividend. Okay.
Yes,
and in
sir.
place of D is debt. That is return on debt. That is nothing but return on preference shares.
No, sir. So DP upon KP is equal to DP formula, then plus MV, sir.
No, ma'am. This is a different formula. Actually, it's a formula valuation. Actually, that is DP upon KP.
Okay.
Okay, that is a different formula, ma'am. That is returns divided by dividends.
Okay.
Okay, so whatever dividend you're generating, for example, you're generating 100 rupees. So 100 rupees, and what is the rate of interest out of that? That is the valuation you can do. I'll discuss that, ma'am. Don't worry. Hanji, is it clear? Please kindly confirm, students.
Yes.
Hanji, sure. Now, the next and the last topic we have, that is about the valuation of your ordinary shares. Almost try to understand, students, because the calculation of we are discussing right now, it is almost similar. Like in the case of debt, we have interest. In the case of preference share, we have dividend. In the case of equity as well, we have dividends. Okay, so that is the part we need to calculate. Like you can just simple next formula as well. Valuation of ordinary share. The formula is similar. You can see that the value of share is D1. That is dividend earned on the first year. KE what? Interest earned on equity shares. Like similarly KD, KP and KE. KE is returns on equity. For a second year dividend, multiply by second year PVF. Third and infinite, definitely we have to calculate accordingly. So if we need to calculate the value of shares, it would be nothing but dividend share earned by the particular for a particular, you could say, equity share, and what is the required rate of return on share. That is your key. Similar formula, no change. You can see that. I'll show this formula actually. Yeah, this is the formula. You can see that. Amount upon K. In place of KD, it is KP, KE. So accordingly, you can calculate that. I hope so, students. Is it clear? It's very, very simple topic, totally formula based. Okay, for this particular valuation, we have three models now: zero growth, constant growth, and variable growth. Shall we start?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Now, the first part is your zero growth model. Zero growth means there is no change in the required rate of return. As it is the fund which was invested, it is not growing at all in terms of your dividend returns. Okay. So whatever the share value, it would be equal to the present value of that particular dividends. Okay. You can see that. This approach to dividend valuation assume a constant non-growing dividend stream. So usually in the practical world, this type of situation does not hold actually. Okay. Because everyone wants some dividend on it. Everyone wants the appreciation of their your instrumentation or securities. Okay, so when with the zero growth in dividends, zero growth in dividend is to make sure. Okay, for example, you are getting 10% dividend from last 5 years. It is called zero growth equity shares or zero growth model. Okay, so you can see the formula first of all. That is D1 upon KE. Okay, similarly like KE is what? Return on equity. Like similarly KP and KD. So D1 is basically the constant dividend per share upon required return on investor. That is the way how you can calculate the calculate the valuation of any ordinary share, that is called equity shares, with the help of this formula. That is D1 upon K. You can see this question first of all. I think it's far better. The per share dividend of a particular company remain constant is 10 rupees. Means every year you are getting only 10 rupees per share. And the required return is 16%. So you need to calculate the current value of that particular share. Very simple. Dividend upon required return. 10 upon 0.16. That is 62.5 rupees, the current value of the share. Very, very simple, I think so. When it is constant, always remember, your growth of your dividend is constant. Similar percentage of dividend you are receiving throughout the year.
Again discuss. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Sir, kindly again repeat.
This part, zero growth model?
Yes.
Yes. Zero growth model is basically a model in which the dividend which you are receiving is constant. For example, 10% you're receiving from last 5 years. Again, it would be similar for next 3 years. That type of securities are called your zero growth securities. Zero growth in terms of your dividend returns. It is constant basically. Okay. So in this case, whenever we need to calculate the valuation of any share, we can calculate with the help of this formula D1 upon K. D1 is the current year dividend and K is the required return of the investment.
So ये P जो है हमारा particular growth आ
गया. Value of the share P.
Value 62.5.
It is 62.5 right now.
Okay. Okay.
Next model, we have constant growth model. It is also called Gordon growth model. Okay. Now, in this case, what we're doing, constant growth. Growth means every year there is a growth of some percentage, 5%, 2%, 10%, whatsoever it could be. Okay.
Okay.
So in this approach, what we are doing, the dividend of a particular share will actually grow by a certain percentage, which is less than the required rate. Less than the required rate. Required means the expected rate of the investor. Okay, this particular model is given by the Gordon. That's why it is also called Gordon growth model. The formula is all similar. D1 upon KE minus G. KE is required return minus growth rate in the dividends. So this question, please, I think. You can see the first calculation. 6 years bond, or you could say share, dividend per share 2.8. For year third, no. 3 rupees, it is not year actually. Dividend per share, it is not dividend per share. It is basically the 3 years, and dividend per share is 2.24. Okay, so for first year it is this much, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, and sixth year. Okay, now the 16% is required rate of return, and 3 rupees per share dividend in year number 7, that is D1, that is current year dividend. Okay, compute the calculation. Okay, how to do that? You can see, first of all, the dividend is rupees 3 per share in the year number 7. Make sure. Okay, in the year number 7, after this year I'm talking right now. Okay, so what we have to do, we need to calculate this particular valuation in 7th year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is given to you. In 7th year, what will be? So D1 is current year dividend. Current year dividend is 3 rupees upon KE 16%, 0.16, and growth is 7%. Okay, growth is 7%. Okay, that is given in rupees 3 per share dividend in year number 7. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, so that would be your 3 upon 0.09, I think. So that would be 33.3 years. 33.3 per share, sorry. The valuation in 7th year.
Okay.
Very simple actually. Very, very simple questions.
Yes. Okay.
So let's move to the next part, please. I'll share this file with you, student. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay.
Now, next one is the variable growth model. Variable growth means when the growth of your dividend will be different for different years. Growth of the share would be different for different year. Okay, in this case, how to calculate this part? Just kindly go through with this particular question. Please. Steps are there. First of all, calculate the value of cash dividend at the end of each year. Means for a particular year, you need to calculate separately now. For example, for the first year, growth is 5%. So you need to calculate separately. For second year, it is separate. Third year, separate, and so on. You can see that. As a dividend valuation approach, this model incorporated changes in the dividend growth rate, assuming the G1 is the initial growth rate, G2 is the subsequent growth rate at the end of year N. Okay, so how to calculate that? First of all, as I told you that the model would be similar, that is a similar model will apply, but we need to calculate for different year, make sure. For example, for the first year it is 5%, so we'll calculate on 5%. Let's suppose it is on 7% in the second year, so it would be like 7% accordingly in the second year. Formula would be similar, but the only change will come in the G column. That is about the growth of the share, which is different for different year. Okay?
तो इसमें हमें हर साल की अलग-अलग निकालनी पड़ेगी ना?
हाँ जी, yes.
शेयर ही चेंज हो जाएंगे परसेंटेज सबकी.
Like for example, if we consider that, if we have to calculate for 7th, 8th, and 9th year, the growth is 5%, 7%, and 9%. Okay, so in this way, what you will do? You will calculate first of all for 7th year, then 8th year, then 9th year.
Okay.
Understood, I think?
Yes.
Yes. The formula is similar because see, don't see these formulas. The important thing is that you need to understand this growth model. Whenever it is different, you need to apply this formula for different percentage rate.
उसमें constant है, इसमें variable होगी percentage बस.
Yes. इसमें मतलब growth percentage में constant है. Okay, but उसमें आपका जो growth है वो percentage में भी different है. तो आपको हर साल का separate निकालना होगा उस केस में.
Yes, ठीक है.
हाँ जी. So we are done with this topic as well. Okay.
Okay.
Because make sure student try to understand, because these topics require a lot of workout actually at home, because once the lecture is done, definitely after that lecture we need to work out on a lot many topics because it's a financial subject. Okay, so you need to practice a lot, you need to go through with this lot, and definitely simultaneously if you cover up this subject with faculty, it is easy for you to understand. Am I clear, please, everyone?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So I think as per the syllabus, if I talk about, definitely the number of topics we have covered up, please kindly we can discuss those as well. Okay, just
हेलो
a
सर,
moment.
मेरे को एक क्वेश्चन पूछना है.
हाँ जी प्लीज बोलें.
सर, जो फाइनेंस का पेपर होगा उसमें प्रैक्टिकल बेस्ड क्वेश्चन आएंगे?
Yes ma'am, practical and theory both.
दोनों आएंगे ना?
Yes,
मैंने
yes.
एक्चुअली इंस्टीट्यूट में कंफर्म करने के लिए मेल डाली थी, बट अभी तक कोई रिप्लाई नहीं आया और पेपर स्टार्ट हो जाएंगे फिर.
हाँ जी ma'am. So I think it would be like I don't know the exact percentage right now, but it is 60-40 or 70-30 theory and practicals.
ओके, और केस स्टडीज में भी आएंगे क्या प्रैक्टिकल बेस्ड?
No ma'am, actually depends subject to subject. Like for my particular subject, definitely I'll start giving the assignments to you now. Okay, that is the 5 assignments per subjects you have. So I'll start giving by this week now, because first week we have just go through with the basic part. Now from this week onwards, I'll give you the CU as well. Okay.
Okay.
Yes ma'am. So as of now, you can see that topic number 1 we are done. Theories in bond and shares we are done. Valuation of bond, valuation of financing, that is bonds and debenture, valuation of shares. Financial goal we have covered up in the introduction part about the profit maximization, wealth maximization. Okay. Topic number 1 to 6 we are done. Topic number 1 to 6 we have completed. Now make sure from tomorrow I'll start the next topic, that is capital budgeting decision, topic number 8, 9, 11, 13, 14, 15. These are the related topics for the single topic, that is capital budgeting, because NPV, IRR, PBP, these are topic related to capital budgeting only. So what we will do now, for next 4 lectures we have, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll discuss this topic of capital budgeting only. Okay, because a very lengthy topic, capital budgeting, but interesting one, very simple topic. Okay. So I think, is there any query to anyone from this session? Please do let me know. Because this, yeah, anyone please. Anji, is there any query to anyone please?
No.
No?
No.
Yes, Kunjan, thank you so much. Yes, Mr. Anurag, Poonam, Rajula, Mr. Prakash.
No, sir. No query, sir.
No queries? Thank you so
No,
much.
sir,
Shivra,
no queries.
query you have? No, I think so. Okay, fine. So, students, shall we sign out then for the day? If everything is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. And
sir.
we'll catch you tomorrow now, and we'll start the next topic, that is called capital budget. Okay?